The Lunaverse, Season 2, Episode 11, Up and Automation by Zap Apple Smash. Lunaverse by Rainbow Double Dash. Chapter 1. And the day starts so well. Huh, sounds a lot like my feelings towards this season. And the season started so well. Cheerilee waited anxiously at the station as the conductor gave the all clear. Pony started pouring out of the train. The teacher scanned through the crowd when she saw an earth stallion who had two interlocking gears as a cutie mark, carrying bolting saddle bags. "Grinding gears!" The teacher shouted happily as she raced up to meet him. "You made it!"
Cheerilee, it's good to see you.
Grinding gear replies. What followed next was the usual friendly chatter of two ponies reacquainting themselves. Finally, Cheerilee decided to move the conversation to somewhere other than the platform. "So, you want to grab a bite to eat?"
Actually, I'm kind of anxious to present my idea.
Grinding Gears replied, patting a hoof on his bags.
Is it alright if we do that first?
Cheerilee quickly fought to hide her disappointment. "Of course. You came a long way for this. Let's go." As the two Earth ponies walked off, a unicorn stallion finally managed to shift a massive, obviously heavy crate off the train. Paused for a moment to send a glare in their direction. "Oh, sure. Leave me to shift this forsaken thing to location." As he returned to his task, he pulled up a map, indicating where he was meant to get set up. Realizing he wasn't where the location was, he decided to ask for Mason. "Excuse me," he called out to a pink mare nearby. When she approached him, he held up his map and pointed to a mark that was marked out. "Could you tell me where this is?" "Well, duh," Piggy replied. "It's your hood, silly. My little pony, my little pony. Ah, my little pony. Friendship never meant that much to me. My little pony. But you're all here now, I can see. Stormy weather, little hearts to show. A musical bond with love and care. Tasting laughter, it's an easy feat. And magic makes it all complete. You have my little ponies. How did I ever make my true friends?" Lunaverse, presented by Hasbro. Created by Rainbow Double Dash. Brought to you by Lens Wipes. Cheerilee and Grinding Gears were let in by Pokey, who, before returning to his work, simply warned him that the representative was in one of her moods.
"Should we come back later?"
The Earth Stallion asked. "Don't worry about Trixie," Cheerilee said surely. "She has her quirks, but is deep down a good pony no matter what mood she's in." Cheerilee opened the door to Trixie's office and jumped back when she saw Trixie standing right in front of her as if lying in wait. "You know the kind of week I've been having?" Trixie asked. Only when she got the shaking of heads as a reply, she continued, "It's been a week of nothing going wrong. No monsters causing havoc, no ancient evil rising up, no politics, no zebra stealing my bourbon. There hasn't even been any weather pony-related incidences. You know what sort of week it's been?" "A boring one," Cheerilee offered. "Unbelievably so," Tracy answered. "Not only have I actually been doing my own work, in a desperate bid not to lose my remaining shreds of sanity to boredom, I actually agreed to a winter-long game of Stealth Hug with Piggy Pie." As he spoke those words, a pair of pink hooves wrapped around her and squeezed tightly. "That's 34, Pinky said happily as she disregarded and started to bounce off. "You better catch up." "Damn it, Pokey!" She said. "You were supposed to watch the perimeter."
"Sorry, boss," Pokey called. "She cut my sandwich with cupcakes."
"Well, you better have safety one this time," Tracy scolded before returning to her attention Cheerilee. "Let me just witness what's the high point of my day so far. Please tell me there is something potentially catastrophic you need my help with stopping. Diamond Dogs taking hostages, Hydra's raining destruction, a ton of little snow pony sayings, anything." Almost feeling sad she didn't have anything more to offer to her friend, Cheerilee decided to just go ahead with introductions. This is my friend, Grinding Gears.
You can call me Grinding Gears for short if you like, the stallion offered. A lot of ponies do.
He's come from Detrot with a proposition regarding one of his inventions he'd like you to consider. So, no abominable snow ponies. No, sorry. Tracy gave her a defeated shrug. Oh well, let's get this over with. As Tracy went back to her desk, Gears whispered to Cheerilee,
She doesn't seem very enthusiastic.
Don't worry, he's like that.
Is she pouring herself a drink?
Cheerilee turned to see that a bottle of bourbon and a glass had appeared on Tracy's desk. Realizing she had been caught, the representative shrugged, It's how I deal with being propositioned. The teacher could only give Gears an encouraging smile, but probably face-hooked when his back was turned. To his credit, the Detrot inventor rated some papers.
Historically, magic has been viewed as something that could be utilized by unicorns.
Tracy was about to argue, but was silenced by a look from Cheerilee.
Now, with the vast potential that unicorn magic possesses, I feel that Equestria as a nation has for the most part ignored one of its fundamental possibilities as a power source to help technology to advance to the next level. Now, don't get me wrong, our current sources of energy have been effective,
Gears explained.
Steam technology relies on us being able to get enough coal, and I believe that within our lifetime, or at least the limit was able to do. There have been attempts made to use magic to power machinery. It has nearly always been done by unicorns. It could be at best likened to a foal's pinwheel, only working so long as a unicorn was there to continuously pump magic into it.
Huh, Tracy replied, not really having anything to say to that.
I believe the problem isn't magic, Gears explained. I think the problem was the machines that were built. I mean, when you have a leaky bucket, you don't try to change the water you put into it.
And you think you have the solution to this leaky bucket pandemic? Trixie asked.
No, but I do think I have the creation that'll lead us in the right direction.
Gears placed a detailed diagram in front of Trixie.
I give you the Automaton.
The representative looked at the picture of what appeared to be a type of machine in the shape of a minotaur. While she didn't understand all the technical notes, she recognized a few things, namely the writing on his forehead. It's a golem, Tracy said flatly.
Automaton,
Gears insisted. You can call it George for all I care. It doesn't make it any less of a golem.
It's not a golem, Gears argued. Golems are overgrown dolls made of rock or clay brought to life by scribbling a word on its forehead. What I am proposing is a fully mechanical construction of metallic brilliance.
Which is powered by
a magic,
the inventor admitted. Tracy stared at Grinding Gears for a moment before seeing out the word golem.
Alright, so maybe it has a few.
Gears corrected himself when he saw Tracy raise an eyebrow.
A lot of similarities to what is traditionally known as a golem.
Look, I don't know what Cheerilee has told you about my experiments, but I'm not going to help you build a golem.
Oh no, this has nothing to do with constructing it.
Really? Then why are you here?
Well, I'll be frank, Gears explained. I'm an engineer, and, in all honesty, a good one. My qualifications are excellent, and I have some highly successful projects in my portfolio. If I were to propose a new design for a train or clock tower, my credentials are enough to get my idea looked at.
Trains and clock towers don't usually run on magic.
Exactly, Gears continued. If my design is going to be even considered by the right circles, it is going to need some credibility, like an endorsement by the element of magic herself.
Tracy almost did a spit take, but quickly stopped herself when she realized she would be wasting good bourbon. You want me to put my seal of approval on this?
Well, a seal wouldn't be necessary. A letter of recommendation or a testimonial on the potential this project has would be enough.
I don't really know how to say this, Trixie answered. Oh wait, actually, I think I do. No!
Gears would not be deterred. Look, I know there's a stigma about golems due to the difficulty in creating them.
Difficulty? Tracy let out a chuckle despite herself. They're not difficult at all. In fact, part of their danger lies in the mind-numbing simplicity of creating one. They're so easy to conjure up, an earth pony can do it. The representative paused and remembered her company. No offense. Some taken, Cheerilee replied. The problem is that once you've made one, you've had no way of controlling it, Trixie explained. Do you know what the phrase subsidiary locomotion is?
Of course. It came across quite a few times in my studies, Gears replied. Politically known as giving life to those without. It's a blanket term used to describe any process that enables pony-made objects to move and behave by their own volition.
Exactly, their own volition, Trixie paraphrased. Once a golem is up and running, it soon develops a mind of its own, interpreting its purpose in its own way. Also, seeing as it isn't actually alive, it's hampered by things like morals, emotions, or even basic reasoning. It'll just keep on chugging along until it stops working, or until someone is able to stop it.
Trixie took a look from her bookshelf.
Even if a unicorn uses further magic to enforce control over it, it's at best like holding an untrained dog back of a leash. But don't take my word at it. Look at history.
She opened a page that started to paraphrase a story from the book.
800 years ago, a somewhat bigoted stallion built a golem to remove a group of griffins that had made a home for themselves near his town. When the golem was finished getting rid of the griffins, it started attacking anything with wings, ponies included.
Well, it was built with fun intent, Gears argued. Of course it would end badly.
Undeterred, Trixie turned to a new page. 500 years ago, a young mayor built a golem to protect their village. They say that for the next 50 years, nothing living was able to set off in the village, and to this day, no pony has tried to rebuild on site.
Again, while the mayor's intentions were good, it was still built with violent intent.
700 years ago, an aging farmer built a golem to plow his fields, and ended up plowing through 100 acres of land, 16 houses, and 7 ponies before it was stopped.
Well, obviously, proper parameters weren't set.
85 years ago, a pony created a golem that helped sort red marbles from blue ones, and ended up destroying half the town trying to find more marbles to sort.
Gears tilted his head slightly. Why go through all the trouble of creating a golem just to sort marbles?
How about I save us some time and just give the short version?
Trixie asked rhetorically.
Death.
She flipped the page.
Maiming.
She flipped the narrow page.
Death and maiming.
Another.
Death and destruction.
Another.
Destruction and maiming. Another. Destruction, maiming, extravaganza!
The two earth ponies sat there and stared at Trixie, who in turn seemed not to be done with her little rant.
You want more proof? Look at the cover. Golem-related tragedies of history. 2nd edition!
She paused for a moment before waving the book in Gears' face.
2nd edition!
Gears stared at Trixie for a moment. Is this about me being an earth pony? She got smacked in the face by the 2nd edition book. Or Trixie another shot. Cheerilee sat in police between them.
Okay, Trixie, a word please.
Giving Gears one last stare, Trixie placed the book on its shelf and stepped out of the office.
You know,
only a few thousand words in, and this is already way better than the previous episode. I'm not winning her over, am I?
Gears quietly asked Cheerilee. Just give me a few minutes with her, Cheerilee assured him, though accusing her of being a tribalist probably wasn't the best idea.
I didn't accuse her of being a tribalist, Gears argued. I simply asked her if her objection to this idea was based on the fact that I was an earth pony. Oh.
Cheerilee stepped out of the office and closed the door behind her, before focusing her whole attention on the representative. I'm not apologizing, Trixie said stubbornly. The teacher closed her eyes and mentally counted 10 before replying. Trixie, remember how we talked about you being a little more tactful in how you deal with people you don't agree with? Cheerilee, this isn't Bonbon's mother trying to get me to start my shows with a segment on healthy eating. This is a legitimate threat to public safety. The magician paused. Besides, How do you not already know the threats of creating a golem? You're a school teacher. Isn't that part of the curriculum? Well, no, Cheerilee admitted. After the whole love-posted debacle in Huffington, the school board sought to remove any easily replicated magic or teachers' practices from the curriculum. Tracy then stopped and stared at the teacher. Then how did Scootaloo know what waterboarding is? That's not important. What is important is that grinding gears obviously put a lot of effort into this. You're just setting him down without giving him a chance. He's put a lot of effort into designing the mechanics, but that doesn't change the fact he's using magic to give something big and metallic autonomy, just hoping for the best. Doesn't that send alarm bells through your head? Trixie, I'm not an idiot. I know about golems, and a less than stellar track record in creating them. Clearly, Karen. But great progress relied on ponies moving on from past mistakes and not dwelling them. Exactly. They moved on from past mistakes. They didn't repeat them. Trixie sat back. I don't get it. I've heard you shut down less crazy ideas than this. Why would you be considering this just because some stallion suggested? At that moment, the pieces fell into place for Trixie. Cheerilee, please tell me this is some elaborate scheme to get a date. Cheerilee stared for a moment. Okay, firstly, not addressing him that way. Trixie raised an eyebrow. I'm not! And even if I was, it would never work out with him being from Detrot and me being here. Uh-huh. Secondly, do you honestly think I would risk endangering my friend, or my students, not to mention the entire town just to get a date? Cheerilee didn't notice a rather poignant silence filled the air. Choose your next words carefully. No, I don't. Trixie replied. But just so we're clear, why would you go along with something if you know it's potentially dangerous? Weren't you listening? He's trying to perfect methods in which magic can be used effectively in new ways, and not just by unicorns. Cheerilee explained. Is it your stick that all ponies use magic? How can you not get behind this? Alright, for starters, my desire to solve my problems in bourbon is my stick, Trixie corrected. Believing that all ponies can use magic in one way or another is my philosophy! My mistake. More importantly, this is not a matter of him using magic, or he's trying to combine Earth Pony and Unicorn magic. I admit that's pretty cool. It's about him using the golem, using it to create a golem. I get it. Golem bad. You've hammered that message in well and truly, Cheerilee said. But will it kill you to be a little more constructive in your criticisms? That depends, Trixie answered. Could he a little bit less destructive in his ideas? I'm serious, Cheerilee replied. You spent the whole time shooting him down because his idea is because it's a golem, yet you haven't actually given his work a real look over. Would have trained you better than that. But it's a golem! Ignore the golem. Check out his work on his own merits, Cheerilee insisted. Treat it like any other idea. Find the flaws in his reasoning, and give him the ideas on how to explore these ideas elsewhere. Trixie deliberated for a moment. Fine, you got a point, she conceded. But if this turns out badly, I'm going to find the most obnoxious way to tell you I told you so. Like anything could stop you. The two mayors stepped back into the office. At the side, their Gears opened his mouth to speak, but was silenced by Trixie raising a threatening hoof. Not a word. Just put all your notes on the table. Gears followed Trixie's instruction, laying down the extensive notes on the table. Trixie then sat down and started to shift through notes. The room was silent as she read and reread some of the notes, only subtle nods at her head shakes to give hints of what was going through her mind. After she was satisfied, the representative returned her attention to her. So, how are you getting the magic to power this?
I have a unicorn assistant named Lumos, Gears explained. The destruction's all mine, but he's the one that brings it to life.
Did you bring his notes?
Oh, he didn't bring any notes, Gears explained. He just has to charge it up when the time is right. I've taken care of the rest.
Has he ever done something like this before?
Not exactly, Gears admitted. But he has an above-average reserve of magic, and more than enough power in this.
Cheerilee could tell that Trixie was saying, but to her credit, the Blue Mare simply moved on to the next question. Have you submitted your idea and designs to the Safe, Ethical, Technological Advancement Commission?
No.
Have your materials and equipment been tested to guarantee that you're magically neutral and unlikely to behave unexpectedly when high amounts of energy flow through them?
No.
Have you checked public records for similar endeavors to make sure you're not repeating all mistakes?
No.
Have you had any independent unicorns look over your work?
My neighbor's a unicorn, and he liked the design.
Tracy gave Cheerilee a meaningful look. To teacher her credit, Sally found the ceiling very interesting. Rather than aside to focus her attention back to grinding gears. Look, Mystic Gears. I realized I was a little harsh before. Cheerilee let out a snort. It was quickly disguised by a cough, when Trixie glared at her. Trixie continued. Please don't feel that I'm belittling your skills as an engineer. These designs look expertly made, and everything about them says that you have mechanics to this down pat.
I'm sensing a but.
Mechanics is only half of this, and frankly, I have yet to see signs of you having the understanding of magic necessary for this, or anything similar to work. Trixie replied, If you can show me otherwise, maybe I'll reconsider it. Instead of appearing dissuaded from Trixie's comments, Grinding Gears seemed more excited by the turn of events.
That's perfect.
Both Trixie and Cheerilee were surprised by his reaction. What?
Well, what better way to show my understanding than a live demonstration?
Gears asked rhetorically.
Glumos is currently preparing our prototype for its first test run outside town.
First test run? As those words sunk in, Trixie lost color on her face. You mean he's setting up something potentially dangerous and untested outside of Ponyville?
Well, of course. You wouldn't want us to start tests inside Ponyville, would you?
He then saw Cheerilee and Trixie staring at him.
What?